cloud. What's up, party people? Todd Tramonte here with my buddy Jason Samard. We have done seconds of show prep today, so we're going to give it to you raw as we always do, and just have a conversation about real estate topics that matter to us and also matter to most of you out there in the world of residential real estate. We're going to talk about what works and doesn't work. We'll talk about what Jason's doing and has done, as well as what I'm doing and I have done. Real quick plug, if you've got a suggestion for a future topic of the show, as long as it's something that we're interested in and that would benefit us and benefit others, we'll probably cover it. So drop that down in the comments wherever you're seeing or hearing this. Give us some feedback and we'll be happy to do that. What we've got for you today is a question that I know that we both get a lot, whether it's a Facebook message, a call to the office, or maybe even from some of our brand new team members on our teams in our offices. And really the topic is this: if you were a brand new agent, what would you do to get your business off the ground? Or how do you get some transactions as a brand new agent? Or how do you start making money? Or whatever version of that question that you've probably asked yourself. I know I did, or you hear people asking. So if you yourself are a brand new agent, then this is for you. If you're a team leader or a broker or an owner or whatever, this is for you, because you're probably going to have new agents that you would like to help get off the ground really quickly. I know that's really probably the perspective that Jason and I are coming at, is how have we helped new agents in our organizations get off the ground? And then certainly as people come to us for coaching, consulting, leadership, or just some quick advice, what are we telling them? So as we normally do, we'll start by putting Jason on the spot and we'll just say, hey, what advice would you have for a brand new agent?
You know what? I'm going to go down a different path than I normally do with this stuff. I'm going to just go back to some really basic stuff that's very, very crucial. Number one, I think you need to do a little bit of a personality assessment of yourself so that you can find out what your strengths, weaknesses are right up front. How does your personality affect the way you learn things? How does your personality affect the way you perceive other people? So I think a little self-awareness focus would be an important thing. The second thing would be, why are you doing this business? Really understanding your whys. Because at the end of the day, when things get really tough, as they will get tough, you have to have enough purpose and why to keep pushing through that. So it actually go back to your mindset. Are you coming into this for the right reasons? Do you have the right mindset? And thirdly, do you understand yourself? Because if you don't understand yourself, how are you going to navigate this craziness? Because too many people, when I ask the question, hey, what's your greatest weakness? They have no idea. Or they give me some really fluffy answer, and you should really know what your weakness is and then not do anything about it, but focus on your strengths and then build around it. So I know that sounds a little crazy, but you're never going to be able to master everything. So figure out what your superpower is early. What's that one thing that you do exceptionally well? What's that one thing that made you successful in all your other businesses or jobs or whatever else you've done? And really build around that. So real simple, but that's where I would start, is those items. Todd?
Yeah, and you just reminded me, I can't remember which episode it was, but we talked about this once before, and before you jump the gun and get into a bunch of technique and skill, task stuff, you got to know what you're working with, even if it's yourself. What are my skills? What are my abilities? What are my gifts? What are my weaknesses? Now, I'm not going to disagree with you much, but I would communicate one or two things a little differently, because it's not fun if I don't. But I think there's two opposing philosophies and schools of thought around self-improvement, around personal growth. And one of them is attack your weaknesses so that you have none. And that's not possible. And one of them is ignore your weaknesses and only work on your strengths. And I would say that is foolish. But I would say I'm much more on that side of the spectrum. And again, as much as I'm trying to disagree, I bet you Jason's probably going to agree.
Hey, I'm plugging it up. You disagree with me, so let's get right to it. You disagree with me. You think that somebody new to the business should really focus on some of the areas that they're not strong at. Okay, I'll bite. So let's
time out. I'm not going to let you fully speak for me. I'm going to say this: there are some things that are hard that you still need to do. And my point about that is you need to be at a point of competency there, but you don't need to try to make those things your leading gifts. And that's where I'm disappointed, because I know Jason probably agrees. My only distinguishing thought there is this: If you're someone that's like, oh, that's hard, I'm just never going to do that, that's lazy thinking. If you're someone that says, that's hard and I don't love it, but I'll do it as much as I need to, and then I'll build a business around my strengths, that's wisdom, right? So that's where we're agreeing. But I just wanted to point out that distinguishing thing where some people will take that comment as an excuse to not do hard things. And that is unacceptable. We don't need to spend any time on it because I'm positive Jason does stuff that he doesn't want to do a lot. So do I. So do his team members. So do mine. So does everybody who's successful at anything. But what they don't do, and where I totally agree, is if I'm unbelievably gifted in person with people and I'm really not a very detail-oriented, analytical taskmaster of numbers, then I should be around people a lot. I should be out selling and converting and giving client care. I shouldn't be the one, working the books. That's just, my wife's a CPA. She does our bookkeeping and payroll. I shouldn't be doing that, right? So by all means, identify your gifts and pursue and grow a business around those gifts. But I just didn't want to let some of us, not just you people, us, because I do it too. I didn't want to let us off the hook on doing hard things and at least growing to a point of competency around some of those hard things. So that's kind of the groundwork of thinking and understanding yourself that I think is important to start with, because most people want to jump to the tasks and the skills and the strategies. But let's go ahead and share some strategies and techniques and skills for new agents who are saying, okay, cool, I've got my head right. Now what do I need to do? I've took my licensing classes and I've got a license, but they didn't help me actually do anything. What do I do now?
Right. So I agree with you fully. Unfortunately, I said that probably for more shock value than anything, but the plan is you want to build your business to a point where you're working within your superpowers 90% of the time at least. So yeah. That can happen right off the bat? No, of course not. You're going to have to learn to do a lot of things yourself, and it's going to be frustrating. You're going to pull your hair out, but hopefully you can tap into enough of your superpowers to get the momentum so that you can start putting the leverage pieces in play in your business so that you can focus on your superpowers. Because when you do that, you actually make a lot more money and have a lot more happiness and success in your business. So when I said that comment, that's a goal that you're going to work towards. Obviously, it's not necessarily 100% accurate because you're going to have to do things that you've never done before, and you're going to have to learn because you're a brand new agent. Now, if I'm new though, I'm going to look for mentors right away. So you need to find people that have found success in what you're doing in your space that can help you avoid some of the pitfalls that they've been through themselves. Secondly, people that can help you bounce things off of you that you can bounce off of as well. So you're going to have multiple people though, not just one person. I think it's good to have a diverse group in and I call it your personal board of directors in your life. Maybe have 5 people that all have one superpower that you really admire, that you'd love to be able to find mastery or at least get wisdom from. I think that would be a good idea. Because at the end of the day, too many people are influenced by other people. And so the reason why you want to have multiple different people to go to is because they're going to have different gifts that you're going to draw from. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it's good. I think it's key. I think a lot of new agents want to be rock stars in year one, and they want to have all the trophies and accolades. And, Jason's one of the people that from a production standpoint did all that. But Jason's wheels had been turning. His business acumen had been sharpened before he got into the real estate business. So you can have rapid success, but if you're not careful, that success will destroy you. And that success will be all window dressing, and there's no profitability. There's no life. There are, tremendous consequences in your relationships, your health, or whatever, right? So you can have that amazing experience as a new agent, but you can also make a bunch of mistakes that look like success. And so I think what both of us are trying to do before we tell you how to lead generate, how to sell, how to hustle deals is get your head right and get a game plan together so that you don't run out and burn out, destroy a marriage, lose your kids, go bankrupt or whatever. I think that being said, real quick, one thought that you reminded me of with this kind of, identifying your strengths and stuff is we've talked about in a previous episode, the ability to work in your superpower so much. I talk about, creating those 3 lists and automate, delegate, and eliminate whatever you tolerate, what fascinates you, and what you, what absolutely irritates you. So we broke that down in a previous episode. You should go check that out. That's kind of a little, an exercise to help you identify what are your superpowers and where do you want to work and where can you long-term build to be working in your area of most giftedness where you can deliver most value and make most money. But let's get into some specifics. And we've talked about this on previous episodes and little different chunks and things, but okay, I'm a brand new agent. You're helping me get rolling. I just got my license. I've got a broker. I've got a phone. Now what?
Okay. So first of all, I think right away, it's really, really important that you get yourself a client relationship management system, a CRM.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what that is. Sadly, over 50% of real estate agents don't have a client relationship management system that they use. That's a stat that I heard somewhere, but 50%, that's a pretty scary number. Number one, get that. Start putting all the contacts, all the people that you know, start filling that out. If you've dealt with them 20 years ago, you went to high school with them 15 years, it doesn't matter. Start putting all your contacts in your CRM system. That's immediately going to give you some confidence because you're actually going to have some people that you can at least touch base with. You can't mess this up. I mean, that's the thing. You can't mess it up because at the end of the day, what's the worst thing that'll happen if you engage a good quality conversation with people that are from your past or in your sphere? It's all an approach, right? Because you're genuinely wanting to be helpful, reconnect some relationships with the right people. That's a very inexpensive way to get started. And I think that could give you some momentum because it might help you get a quick win here, a quick win there. Another thing would be another very inexpensive thing to do is find like a key partner that you can add to your business. For me, that was a mortgage broker. I found a mortgage broker in the beginning that we could build a referral back and forth partnership. And in my first year, he helped set up 12 deals for me. And I was able to help him set up like 25 or 30 deals in his first year. So it was really mutually beneficial for both of us. It cost very little. In fact, it cost nothing other than me buying him coffee and then just sort of engaging in dialogue and building value and then utilizing him in my business as much as possible and him doing the same thing. Two tips right there. Don't cost very much, just some time and some focus. And that can make an immediate impact. Maybe just from that activity, you might get 4 sales in a year, 10 sales, 12, who knows? But at least it'll give you some momentum. So
or 40. I mean, most of the difference in scale on these things is work ethic and intensity and focus. You know, it's not like there's that many people out there with some truly unique, magically brilliant lead generation strategy, right? I mean, I've seen some where I'm like, whoa, I couldn't replicate that because of some unique circumstance, but that is unique. That is awesome. But the difference in 10 and 100, 10 and 100 is a big deal. The difference in 4 and 40 is usually tenacity and work ethic, right? Now, I'm not excluding someone that has some unique situation, but most of the time it's pretty simple. Let me say this real quick. Jason says CRM. I agree. But if that immediately intimidates you, call it an Excel spreadsheet. Just do something to organize contacts of people who you can and should be communicating with. Now, this doesn't mean like you go beat up all your friends and you ask them to give you the names of 10 friends and family members and then you go annoy them. This means who are the people that you should already be open to talking to? If you bump into them in the grocery store, you want to see them instead of hiding behind the chip aisle, right? Who are the people that would take your call, respond to a text, connect with you on social media? So I would say do that while you're getting your license, before you have your license, right? This doesn't require a license. Make a giant list of everybody you know, cross out the people you don't like, but make the list of them anyway because they might remind you of someone else. Start collecting names, emails, and phone numbers. Ask your friends for their wedding shower lists and their Christmas card list and, you know, don't steal their list, but you know what I mean? Can you help me gather information for people that I'm looking to, you know, to offer some value to and to help? And then don't be a jerk about it. Don't call and say, hey, Jason, Todd Tramonte just got into real estate. Who do you know that wants to buy or sell a house this month? You know, with your little beggar handout, right? You know, warm it up. Hey, man, it's been a while since we talked. How you been? What are you up to? What are you doing for work? Very, very cool. Chances are he's going to ask you in return, oh, cool, man. Yeah, I'm getting into real estate. I'm making some big changes in my life. I'm super excited. And then leverage other relationships. I'm super fired up about this group I just joined. I'm learning a ton. I know I'm going to be able to really, really help people. Obviously, if you knew somebody that needed help, I'd love to earn their trust. No pressure, though. I swore I would not be the kind of real estate agent that's just beating people up with business cards. We're going to add a ton of value. If I could ever help, let me know. But I'd love to, catch up with you and grab coffee and just reconnect, whatever. Be subtle, but be value-oriented. Offer some value first. If that's all you did, that could probably fund your first 90 days, maybe your first 6 months in the business. What it's not going to do is be this rapid on-ramp to record-breaking sales forever and ever and ever. You're going to need to add a second or third pillar. Jason and I are both big fans of really clean businesses with, 2, 3, 4 sources of business that are your primary sources. You can have more, but that are your primary, that you commit time, energy, money, resources to. So let's just say that's number one. Jason recommended number 2, and he said a mortgage lender. I would broaden that a little bit to what you might call referral relationships, or influencers, or whatever you call it. So that might be a mortgage lender. Maybe that's a home builder. Maybe that's a financial advisor. These are 4, 5, 6 people that you might stay in consistent communication with, where you can send them business and they can send you business. Maybe it's a CPA. Maybe it's a handyman, whatever. People that are likely to be able to touch more than one transaction per year for you, and vice versa, right? And those are people that maybe once a month, maybe once a quarter, you want, like Jason said, you might want to buy a cup of coffee for, or lunch or breakfast for. Breakfast, by the way, is a powerful meal to buy for someone. Most people that get up and get together for breakfast are hustlers. They're hard workers. They're making things happen. And a lot of people are available for breakfast way more often than they're available for lunch or other stuff, especially if you're trying to ask for something or pick someone's brain. That's a good time to be impressive, be punctual, be on top of things. So there's 2 things right away that will cost you almost nothing that can be on board to volume business, more than one transaction per year or so. So just to pick your brain, Jason, go ahead.
I was going to say a really good idea too for any agent. Doesn't mean you're not. And what I mean by concierge list is all the different professionals that you know and trust that do good work, and start building relationships with all of those people so that you're top of mind, but they're also top of mind, because you can recommend people. So when you see online, when people are like, hey, can you rave me this, or can you rave me that? You could always be that person that has valuable information. You almost want to create yourself as the concierge in life for people in your networks. When they're
we tell our agents and our coaching clients and stuff, you want to be a connector. You just want to be the person that everyone views as a connector. Like, man, if I need a plumber, Jason will probably know somebody. He's not a plumber, but he'll probably know a plumber, and he's probably done the work to review them. Hey man, we just moved to the area, blah, blah, blah. You know anybody that mows yards? Yeah. You want to be the person that other people call, email, text for that kind of stuff. And you can seed that. You can build that reputation. You can create that.
It's going to take time. But again, when you're approaching and you're talking to people and you're having consistent conversations, you're going to let them know, hey, just so you know, if you ever need anything, I've networked an amazing list of professionals that have great credibility, do really good work. If you need anything, just reach out. I'm happy to make good recommendations for you.
Yeah. Let me offer 2 more
value item that you can just drop on people.
For sure. Let me offer low cost options and stick around. And maybe we'll get into 1 or 2 paid ones that maybe are early stage opportunities there. Number 1 is boring, and it doesn't sound exciting, but it's open houses. They can work to get you buyers. Now, we probably won't go into the whole strategy of how to do that right here. We've done that before. We'll probably do it again. But basically, if you do enough open houses and put enough signs out and get enough attention and capture enough opportunities, you can go out and probably pick up a client every weekend, 2 or 3 a month for sure. Most people, it's not going to be your favorite thing. But in the beginning, for the cost of a couple of signs, and you might even be able to borrow some signs, put out a ton though, put out a bunch of signs. You can go put out some time and effort and people will come to you. Now, maybe we'll expand on that in a second. But the other one that's close to that, and I know we've talked about this in previous episodes, is go find some top producing agents in your brokerage, in your office, in your community, and go say, hey, Jason, my name's Todd. I'm totally new in the business. I've watched some of your videos. I've seen some of your stuff. Man, you seem really, really sharp. You seem like you've worked really hard and learned a lot. I would love to help you in any way I can. If you've got some leads that aren't being followed up on well, or if you've got some houses that someone could do an open house for, I'm kind of doing my own thing, but I would love to, be able to build my business in a way that also helps you. I would pay you a really favorable referral fee on anything I convert from your leads, or if I sell anything off of one of your listings, if I do an open house. I want to make sure that this is totally worth it for you. but I'd also like, to help grow both of our businesses. Are there any leads that maybe aren't getting called back, or you guys feel like maybe they're kind of dead, or are there any listings that your agents don't really want to hold open that you'd like someone to hold them open? I'd be happy to pay a higher than normal referral fee on those if we could work some of those together. What are you going to say if someone asked you that, Jason?
Well, if they asked me that, first of all, I'd appreciate the fact that they went out of their way to do that. So I'd be like, look, I love this. And I'd probably go out of my way to try and introduce them to people that aren't doing something with their leads, because we are doing something with our leads. Like, we have a whole system and program, and everything we do is an in-house thing that we do really, really well.
Right.
Now, just the fact that they had that type of initiative would strike a conversation. I would be curious to learn more about them. I'd be curious to invest in them to help them be successful. So I'd be looking to introduce them to somebody. Perhaps maybe our team would be an opportunity for them that we could discuss, or, there's lots of possibilities, but I would definitely go out of my way to try and help. And I will say this, there's going to be people that slam a door in your face or that have a different mindset than Todd and I would, which would be very open. And they look, I want to help because I genuinely love helping people. I help my competition all the time because I don't see it that way. But there are people that would be like, well, I don't associate with agents in my marketplace. That's okay. Let those doors get slammed in your face, and just note those in the back of your mind that you don't want to be that type of person. And in the future, remember those people and say, that's exactly what I don't want to be. Because that's how it is for me. I've had a couple people do that to me in my early days, and I just remember that. I still deal with them. They're professional. They're great agents. Nothing personal. But for me, it's like, that's the type of agent I don't want to be. And I think that's guides my values and our company's values and everything that's here. So I did that, Todd. I talked about it in previous episodes. So I won't spend a lot of time. But when I first started, I knew an agent that had a whole bunch of Google AdWords leads that she generated, IDX registration leads, and was doing nothing with it. She'd basically closed one deal in like 13 months from her website. And I knew she had a lot of leads. So what I said is, look, I'll work those leads for you. I'll pay you 50% on anything that I set up, but let me just go and work this database. I got so much business from that I think I generated about in 30 or 45 days. I think it was around $76,000 in GCI that got my business off the ground and was a huge payback for her and prove that internet leads don't suck. They actually work. Right. So I would highly recommend that. And there's definitely some really good mentors out there that you could look for, like Todd or myself or other people that can help guide you on how to actually systemize internet leads, how to work those, because there's a gold mine there. It's just, there's a whole process that you have to follow, and it's a different mind.
So let me say real quick what I bet a lot of people are thinking. 50%, dude. Normal referral fees less than that. Why would you do that, Jason?
Yeah. So why would I do that? Number one is it kept me busy while my lead generation stuff was getting ramped up on my website. It created some new clients, which created referral opportunities, which created future sales opportunities. I mean, the amount of transactions that I've been able to do over the last 3.5 years from those early people, I've probably done an additional 12 to 15 transactions from those people through referrals and other transactions that they've done since then. So people focus way too much on, I'm not paying 50%. I look at it like a brand new client. It's a new advocate. They're going to introduce me to a friend, family member. I'm never going to say no to new business opportunity, because I know that with our systems, with our approach, our follow-up, that's going to create future business down the road. And it's very, very powerful. So I just focused on units. I didn't focus on.
And how does that agent feel about you now?
Well, I think that agent would feel very favorably because I helped her make money from something that was a lost leader. So for her, there was no downside to it whatsoever.
Yeah, that's the thing too, is because it's mutually beneficial. That's why I would offer a large, attractive number, because the day after you did that, you had more leads than you knew what to do with. I mean, what are you asking for? This is like automatic opportunity. So you should compensate somebody appropriately for that, and it should be mutually beneficial, and you should want them to cry the day you say, hey, my stuff's getting going. I'm going to go do something else, and I'm going to generate my own. Like, no, stay. That's, I mean, whether you believe it or not. And sometimes I do a bad job of kind of ostracizing that, other agents are mostly goobers that don't work hard and all this kind of stuff, which is sadly true. But if you come across an agent that's got some stuff going on, I mean, you want to build mutually beneficial, respectful relationships with them. So I think offering generous compensation for something that's going to to rapidly grow your business, expedite the ramp up of your business, is not very hard to do and is really smart. And Jason has proved it. Honestly, I wasn't humble enough. I didn't have the humility enough as a young wannabe stud to go to someone and say, I need to learn. I want to grow. I want to, for us to work together. So I tried to figure it out on my own, and it took me way longer to build my business than Jason did. So the point is, humble yourself, be generous, learn and grow faster than doing it my way, where you make all the mistakes and you learn the hard way. And, I'm proud of where we are today, but I sure would have appreciated a faster growth trajectory. So, with limited time, what else would you mention? Now, we've already given a lot, and almost all of these are low or no cost to get your business going.
And they all work, and it's consistency. And it's like, Are you willing to outwork other people? You can control and influence those things. Like, you can control the number of open houses you do in a week. You can control the proactive conversations you're having with people that you know in your sphere. You can control the conversations you're having with successful agents trying to get opportunity to help them create more business. So, these are all things that are measurable. These are things that are trackable. These are things that will get results. I'm going to end on this, though, for my end of things. As a new agent, you need to invest in your skills. And when I say your skills not only in like helping people with real estate, but you need to invest in your skills of understanding real estate, the different types of real estate, like become an expert at what you do. And one of the things that will force you to do that is to get yourself in front of your phone and start shooting videos, start interviewing different companies. For example, you could, if you wanted to learn about different heat sources, start interviewing companies that do that. Create a video about it, put it on your business page. You could send that to your database. You want to learn about septic fields, we'll go and learn about septic fields by interviewing experts, but like start investing in yourself and putting valuable content out there. A, it'll raise your game. B, it'll build you up as an advisor to people in the industry as well. So your clients know that you have the knowledge, because when I hear, oh, I'm a new agent, I think, oh God, that's scary.
Yep.
Right.
I agree.
Hire a rookie. Now, you don't have to come in and say, I'm a new agent. Say, look, I have a lot of other experiences that have set me up for success to be a very successful realtor. And I have an amazing network of professionals that I go to and mentors in my life. And so don't let that be a hindrance. Like, oh, well, I've never done a lot of transactions. If you can have the right mentors, their knowledge becomes your knowledge too.
Yeah. We on our team, we talk about delivering world-class value, and you can't do that if you're not constantly learning and growing. The same exact advice is true for an experienced agent. You've got to invest in yourself. You've got to grow. On our team, we say you have to be who we promised we would be, which is an expert, right? You can't say, I'm the best choice for you to go spend your $600,000 when on the inside, I don't know what I'm doing. That's not okay. So if you're a new agent and you're ramping up, you need to be interviewing people, shadowing agents. Can I go to that closing with you? I'll carry something for you. Can I go to that showing with you? I'll schedule them all for you. Can I go help you take photos? Can I get whatever? You've got to get some experience under your belt. You got to read the books, shadow the agents, listen to the podcast, get coaching, whatever you can afford in the right time-wise, time more important than money and all that, so that you can be with integrity who you said you would be, which is the best choice, the expert, the advisor, the leader, the guide for your buying or selling process. And there's a lot of intimidation around that when you're a new agent, just like, well, I'm not yet. Well, just because it took me 5 years doesn't mean it's going to take you 5 years. We get our agents up and off the ground in 6 weeks on our team. Now, that doesn't mean we stop training them after that, but our agents, our coaching, consulting clients and our team members within 6 weeks start to feel like they've been doing this for 20 years. We had an agent on our team recently. It was like his second month here. He was on his, I don't know, third or fourth deal. And he's like, this other agent is like a total amateur. And we all looked at him like, he was like, well, yeah, but I don't really feel that way though. We kind of caught him feeling like he had forgotten that he was a new agent already because he had invested in himself so much, like Jason's talking about. So anyway, that's a huge deal. All I'm doing is agreeing and affirming with what Jason said and telling you, if you believe that as a new agent, great. Believe it forever. Never stop that hunger to be the most informed, valuable person in the room. especially for your clients. So anyway, I think this is a great one. I think we stop here. Let's not even talk about paid ways to grow your business. This is a great episode on low to no cost time and energy investment to build your business. If you just watch this 5 times and actually do it and only pick 2 or 3 of them and be really consistent and really committed, you can do really, really well. Agree?
100%. Love it.
Awesome.
Great show.
Well, check it out. Go ahead.
No, I just said, thanks, Todd. I really appreciate it. And if I can bring any value to anybody, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here to help. I know Todd feels the same way. It's a scary business because getting a license is just, okay, you've got a license, now what? And there's a lot to cover, and there's a lot of things that can be quite intimidating. But just remember, there are mentors out there and people that are willing to genuinely help you. And we're 2 of them. So, we would be honored to give you any piece of advice. And that's why we put this out there, so that people are getting hit with value.
For sure. You can contact either one of us at the links below this video. If you're catching it on the audio podcast, we're easy to find. Google Jason Samard or Todd Tramonte. We're not trying to beat you over the head with a bunch of pitches. We both have resources and ways that we'd be happy to help. So check out past episodes, check out future episodes. Make sure you download these, like them, share them, whatever. If you find these valuable, don't keep us a secret. We'll talk to you on the next one. Over and out. Cool.